Welcome to Lift Past. We're here in Dublin at the Iron Nest. I'm joined with Simon Murphy, owner of Westside Gyms. Today we're going to discuss a couple of things. Main topic will be the RDS event and why Colton is no longer doing the event. Surprise, surprise. We're going to talk about it, how it all formulated, why it's now changing to a different main event, and just basically discuss how things materialized and then didn't materialize. So we're going to start off with Simon. If you want to just introduce yourself a little bit.
I'm Simon Murphy. I'm the owner of Westside. We were the host of the Abs Pro, and we're looking to be the host of the Abs Pro going forward, and I suppose co-owner of the RDS event on Valentine's Day.
So Simon, this was your brainchild, Colton versus Hack. Obviously, Colton was signed up to do the Clash of Titans last year, had a visa issue, then he was going to do the Pro. That didn't materialize, and he obviously withdrew from the Rumble. Mm-hmm. But you came up with the idea of putting together the Hack versus Colton show.
Yeah.
Kind of talked me into it a little bit.
I just think, most of us will agree, I think we're always obsessed with finding out who the best is. We always want to quantify everything of who's the greatest, who's the best, who has done something someone else hasn't. And I think that you're always getting these questions in sports. You have the basketball debate, the LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. You have the golf debate, you have the Tiger Woods versus Jack Nicklaus. Boxing, Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. You'll always have these debates, and I feel like, obviously because of generational gap, you don't get the chance to settle them. Whereas in this sport, at that time, we had that chance to settle it, with John being, recognised as one of, if not the greatest of all time, and Colton having hit the numbers that he'd hit. It felt like it was the time to make that happen, and to find out under the same circumstances. It's impartial, it's they're both flying here, there's no hometown advantage, and they both get to settle it on a platform of who is the greatest. And I think that was a one moment in time, and I think that it's a shame that we won't get to see it.
No, and you kind of hit the nail on the head there. So going back to April, do you want to go through the timeline? Like, I obviously, you reached out to me, I reached out to John.
Obviously I'm newer to this community. I met John. I kind of floated the idea to him in person, to get his feedback, and he seemed like it was something that he was very much up for. And then through yourself, we kind of made contact with everybody, and to see if there was a similar feeling, and everyone seemed on the same page. At that time, we agreed terms between the whole group. We basically looked for their feedback in terms of what the conditions were, what the equipment we'd be using would be, and the setting. We also had debates on where the event would be situated, and it was decided that in Ireland, because obviously myself and Jay's ability to be able to be hands-on and organise the event to a standard that we'd both be happy with. And also from the guys' perspective, it's impartial. Both guys are flying in, there's no hometown advantage, and we felt that was the fairest, and everyone agreed. So at that point, we issued contracts, signed them on video, and we felt happy to proceed. And at that point, we invested obviously in the venue, invested in promotion, in merchandise, in building the brand of this event. And unfortunately, then we just started to encounter issues with Colton, and it's disappointing. And I know you and I have had so many discussions about it, trying to see if there's a way to be able to bring the event that we all want to see together. And it's just, I feel like we're at a point of you just can't rely on and build a whole show and center it around this event with that level of uncertainty. And it's very disappointing.
Yeah, so just to emphasize, because I want to emphasize this very, very clear. This went on for weeks. The two lifters were in a group. They agreed on the terms, which was specialist bars, sleeves, dots, 24-hour weigh-in, and was it walkout? I think it was.
Yeah, it was walkout as well. Yeah,
right. Both agreed. They got exactly the same contract. Got offered the exact same amount of money.
Yep.
And we had everything locked in, and then Simon went searching for the best venue Irish powerlifting has ever had. It had to be something big, which was the RDS, is it Opera Hall?
Yeah,
Opera Hall.
yeah.
It's 1,000-seater capacity. It's one of the most like iconic venues in Dublin, and with that, it costs money. So, without any sponsorship guaranteed, we both agreed to put our own money in, which was, wasn't cheap. These venues don't come cheap at all. On top of all the prize money that was going to be put in as well. So yeah, just want to emphasize that was made clear before we went ahead and booked the venue, put a deposit down. The lads both agreed that they were in, they signed contracts, and this was probably around May, was it?
Yeah, it was
May.
Yeah, around the first week of May.
And we were sitting on this a while then, and getting all the content together, waiting for the right time to release it. After the Abs Pro, not to distract while things were hot, and that's what we did. So I released the first video of Colton. Didn't get any collab. All right, that's not strange. I get it. Sometimes people just want to distance themselves from social media. Did the one of John. Obviously, John collabs everything. Still nothing. All going well. Still radio silence in the groups though from Colton. So at no point we were like, oh, this is not going to go ahead, because like nobody said anything. Another week later, I released the video of the GOAT with Colton and John. Thing goes absolutely mental on Instagram. Probably one of the most viral videos we've had. Within 5 minutes of posting that video, I got a message off Colton saying basically he's out. So Simon's very polite. For me, that's fucking bullshit. It's a piece of shit move. You could have said weeks before that, rather than letting us fucking waste our time, do videos, book venues, all that stuff. I don't care if you got offered more money. That's just a piece of shit move. And for me, if someone gives you your word on something, you hold it, or at least have the courtesy to inform someone when not talk about it on a podcast weeks before. Let people put time and effort and their money in, and then fucking waste people's time. So
absolutely. To come in on that, I think that on that point, you're 100% right. It was out of probably the want to salvage the event that it was, me that stepped in to renegotiate, to see was there a solution in place for Colton where he could still compete in an event that had just been organised, and our event which he'd committed to. And at that point I spoke to him at length. More messages were sent from me to him than him to me, but got him to engage, and we renegotiated where he didn't really want to be involved in the promotion of the event. He just said he didn't want to be involved in any media, wanted to renegotiate terms financially, and we did. And he agreed. My conditions on that were that he collaborated on everything that we put out. We just wouldn't have any media requirements from him. And then, myself and Jay spoke. We let John know that the event was back in place. In fairness to him, and I will say, he's just been one of the easiest people I've ever worked with, and the complete opposite of what we found in Colton. He's a G, and no matter what we put in front of him, he went for it. So yeah. I think that kind of, in my mind, unfortunately we won't get to see it on a platform, but in my mind it settles the debate, because you have to be willing to show up and to do it, under any conditions, under the strictest conditions. And at the end of the day, if you have Real Madrid but you're competing against the Sunday League team, it doesn't make them Champions League winners, you know. So it's this, in my eyes, it's the same thing. It's who you do it against, where you do it, under what conditions, and that's what matters.
Yeah, as Simon said, John was just like anywhere, anytime, at any place, met like attitude. Didn't really care about anything, you know, just like, yeah, I'm in. So when he found out Colton was pulling out the first time, he just said, look, I said I'll be there, I don't care. Basically, I don't care who you put me against or what it is.
Yeah.
I'm there, I said I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like John was mad to do this head to head. And like for me, that just kind of, you know, everyone has different motives in sport. And that's fine. Some people chase records, which I know Colton's more fixated on. John already has all the records that he did, not as a guest, but actually as a competitor. So obviously he was this was more appetizing to him. But like, anyway, my point here is he took chalk and cheese, John, anyone, any place, any time. The reason I'm so pissed off is not because of the money aspect. I always understand, like, at the end of the day, we got to put bread on the table. It's the lack of communication from people. And
the lack of respect, I think, is the biggest thing. You know, like, at the end of the day, he's not only, you know, given written confirmation and signed a contract, he's also given his word on 2 separate occasions for the one event within a space of a couple of months' time. And I think it's a lack of respect to the organisers, to John, who he's competing against, to just leave us all under the illusion that this was going to be, you know, where we all were on February 14th, or are on February 14th, and, you know, and now we're, you know, in a different position completely. So I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, I genuinely thought we were up against it when he made the video and said, you know, I think Abs are maybe going the wrong way about this in terms of the head-to-head. This was before we had the official pullout, but, you know, that's what you'd signed up for. And if that is not something that you believe in, or that's not something that you know, your vision for the sport, well, then why engage? So that's the biggest thing for me, is the lack of respect. It just says a lot about the person.
It takes 2 minutes to send a text.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 15 years. Some of my best friends, I would say, I've pulled out from meets where they know, you know, it's been a big deal, but look, they fucking text me, it takes 2 seconds, right? At least I'm aware of it. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe with it all, was the fucking piss poor communication. And like, just because we were putting money up doesn't mean we're like fucking rolling in money either. Like, this is people's livelihoods as well. So yeah, next time you negotiate with someone, like, bear that in mind. I think that's kind of, I'm gonna end up being a fucking prick if we keep going, because he's fucking dickhead. But on a positive note, that's done now.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, that person won't ever be on an Abs platform while I'm ahead of it anyway. Which leads us to what we're going to do with the RDS. We've got this fucking amazing venue. It's absolutely sick. There's not many things that give me a boner at nearly 40 in powerlifting anymore, but when we went to see the venue, it's just amazing. So what we've come up with is Clash of Titans 4, which is already the strongest event in the world, I think, right now, and probably the biggest untested event in the world, is going to be moved forward. This is going to be the main event of the RDS. So we're going to have our day lifting, and then the evening will be the Clash of Titans. We've got a roster that are all reliable. They've all competed at Abs before. They're not going to say they're going to go and then, you know, shit the bed a few weeks out. People like Fernando, Sir Dave, Nicholas Dupree, John is going to tell you more about this. John will be lifting, and he won't be in 93. Ed Cohen, just going to touch on that. All of this as well. Ed Cohen had agreed to come over and present the GOAT belt, the special belt we were getting made, to the winner of Colton and John, which the lads knew about. How can you turn that down? But anyway, Ed will be there. So we're going to do the main event's going to be Clash of Titans 4 at the RDS. Obviously the belt's going to be on the line, but we're going to add a little twist into it with a head-to-head dynamic, which do you want to touch on?
Yeah, so like I think we both have been big fans of boxing and the UFC, you know, especially the the build up to it. I think that the engagement that both of those sports bring to the audience, when you feel like you get to know the competitor, the fighter, the competitor, it's the same thing. And by them showcasing their personalities in those head-to-heads, I think that kind of gets that engagement from the audience. And me, as you know, I'm obviously involved in this now, but you know, starting off as a casual kind of viewer or fan of this, I think it was the Clash that has really got me to bite in terms of, you know, this as an industry, just purely because of the atmosphere that it creates. It's like nothing else I've been to. It's so intense, and we feel that adding this head-to-head will only add to that atmosphere. Seen it in the past at events where you've got guys who have got organic rivalries, and it just adds such a different dimension to the live event and to the build-up. And I think that anticipation, you wanting to see, needing to see what's going to happen on the day, that's where we feel like this will take it to another level. So each of the competitors will be matched in a head-to-head, and there will be cash prizes for the winner of that individual head-to-head, not just the overall, which I think just adds another dimension to the whole thing.
Yeah, so I've always been a big fan of like people buy into people, not necessarily, you know, that's why you have fucking shit teams like Cardiff City that I support, that they still get 20,000 morons come and support them every week. They buy into the people, you know, the people of the club and the players. So look at Ronaldo, people just follow Ronaldo. So with the head-to-heads, I think it gives you that element where you can come last or one before last and still win something. You know, you're still beating someone. So we'll pair people off who are probably close on nominations. So if there's two lads with 1,000, for example, Thomas Darry and Carl, they both hit their first 1,000s at ABS, Clash of Titans and ABS Pro. They'd be a good rivalry, you know. They both hit their 1Ks. They can go head to head. Germany versus Iceland. You know, were Iceland invaded in the war? Probably not.
We're going political now.
Fucking miles away. I was just trying to add some spice.
Nice.
But yeah, you know, winner fucking takes a cash. You know, bring their missus out for a nice meal and a bit of whatever.
I think it's the bragging rights as well of it. It's the, you know, like you've seen it. We were just watching the videos beforehand where you had, you know, of rivalries of past, and it's even that was the first thing that was explained to me, was actually who won that between them rather than the overall winner. So I think that they're the bits that draws the crowd, that people buy into. And you know, like you said, winning the whole event might not be possible for them, but winning that clash, winning that rivalry, you know, that's still important on the day. And I think it's about that engagement with the audience, and hopefully throughout the build-up and on the day itself, people will follow it from that to actually seeing what happens on the platform, to see who wins each of those matchups. And I think that it just adds that extra layer.
Absolutely. Like you said, no one remembers the scores. You always remember, like, if you want to look IPF, you know, when John Hack beat Brett Gibbs, no one remembers what they totaled. They just remember John won.
Yeah.
Same in like Sheffield, no one remembers their fucking scores. They just remember, oh, that person won, Boris won, Nicholas won. No one remembers like what they actually lifted. People just want to see this guy beat this guy. Eddie Hall versus Thor, who won, you know, Conor versus Khabib, like, so that's where we're going with it. It's going to be an amazing event. You know, fuck the people who are not there. We're going to focus on the people who are there, which we probably should have done from day one, but there we go. We live and learn. And RDS, February the 14th, it's going to be the biggest show in Irish powerlifting history, European powerlifting history. There's probably 15 lads who can all do 1,000 kilo or have already done it, which is unheard of ever in powerlifting. So if you're not there, you're missing out.
100%. I think it's what I'd like to say is, you know, now that I'm involved in this, I think that hopefully as a collaborative effort we can put on the biggest event that has ever been seen here in Ireland, the best roster that's ever been seen here in Ireland, and the production build up and the event itself just take the whole thing to the next level, which I feel like the sport is only growing, more interest is coming, and I'd really like to be a part of that. So I think that this is really the first huge step to making it a more recognised sport, and getting that engagement with the athletes, and with them building their profile through us, we also grow with them. So I think it's going to be a real once-off event.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Right.
A1.
I shall see you in October 11th, Rumble 2. Don't even get me started on Reach. I'll see you in San Diego.
No, go on, let's do it.
Okay, fuck you, Reach. You pulled out last minute. There's another cunt. Alright? Dickheads. See you later.